Children. The topic which we are going to start today is digestion in humans. So in this topic we will study that what happens to food when we take this food inside our body and how the digestion process takes place. We will study the digestive system of human with the help of this flow chart. You can see it is given in the blue box. So the human digestive system comprises mainly of digestive tract and associated glands. Digestive tract means the whole pathway through which food uh, enters inside your body and through which digestion of food takes place, and this digestive tract is also called as alimentary canal. And second one is your associated glands. So firstly you should know what are glands. Alright, so glands basically these are the structures, these are the organs in our body which releases chemical substances, and then those chemical substances are utilized by our body for particular function. Alright, so this digestive tract, or you can say alimentary canal, is comprises of buccal cavity, or it is also called as oral cavity, then esophagus, or it is also called as food pipe, then stomach, then small intestine, then large intestine, and then anus. And if we talk about your associated glands, so there are mainly these three glands which helps in the digestion of food in a human body, that is your salivary gland, liver, and pancreas. Okay, so now we will study all these organs, or all these parts one by one, and we will see that what happens to food when it enters in these particular organs, in these particular parts of our body. Alright, so firstly we will discuss about your ingestion process. As we have already discussed about that, there are mainly 5 steps in the nutrition in animals, that is your ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, and egestion. So we will discuss all these 3 steps one by one, and we will see that how digestion takes place. Okay, so let me discuss about your digestive system with the help of this diagram. So the whole process of digestion will study with the help of, I'll explain this process of digestion with the help of this diagram, but you make sure that you should go through your chapter thoroughly for proper understanding as well. So the process of digestion, as you take in food inside your mouth, that process of digestion begins from your mouth itself. So as you take in food inside your mouth, the food goes into your buccal cavity. So buccal cavity is the first place where the digestion of food takes place. Alright, so half of the digestion of food, it takes place in the buccal cavity or oral cavity. So this oral cavity or buccal cavity consists of teeth, tongue, and salivary glands. Okay, so in human beings, as food is ingested through the mouth, so biting, chewing, and then swallowing happen inside the mouth. Alright, so mainly the humans, they have 2 sets of teeth in their lifetime. Okay, so they are temporary teeth and permanent teeth. So you should know that there are mainly 20 temporary teeth which comes at the age of 3 and remains until the age of around 6 years. Okay, so then they begin to fall out to make way for the permanent teeth. So permanent teeth, they are 32 in number, and once they're broken, they cannot be replaced with the new teeth. All right, so your teeth plays very important role in chewing the food and digesting the food inside your mouth. So this chewing of food mixes the small food particles with the saliva, and this process is called as mastication. Have you ever wondered that from where does the saliva comes in our body, comes in our mouth? So this saliva basically comes from the salivary gland. These are the secretions, these are the liquids which are secreted by the salivary glands. Okay, so in the picture you can see the salivary glands are mentioned here. So basically these salivary glands, they produce saliva, and this saliva contains an enzyme which is called as salivary amylase. Okay, and what is the function of this enzyme? What is the function of this amylase? It breaks down the starch, breaks down the carbohydrates into sugars, okay, into simpler sugars. Okay, so saliva also makes the food wet and slimy so that it can be easily swallowed. Now question arises that you might be thinking that what are enzymes. So let me tell you that what are enzymes. Enzymes, basically these are proteins which increases any of the metabolic activity or any of the biological activity that is taking place in our body. All right, so they enhance they enhance the rate of any chemical reaction, they enhance the activities in our body without undergoing any change. All right, so after digestion of food takes place in our mouth, your food enters in the esophagus, that is your food pipe. So chewed food is then pushed into this food pipe, and just to remember that there is no digestion takes place in the food pipe. So food pipe is the medium, it is a medium to take the digested food from mouth to stomach. All right, so from the food pipe your food enters into your stomach. So next comes your stomach. Stomach is a highly muscular and elastic organ. It is a J-shaped organ which is present on the left side of your abdomen. Okay, so it is widest part of your alimentary canal. So you should know that the stomach wall contains gastric glands which secrete gastric juices. Okay, so gastric juices, these are basically digestive juices released by the stomach wall, and these gastric juices, they contain mainly three substances, that is hydrochloric acid, pepsin and mucus. So all these three types of substances helps in the digestion of food in the stomach, helps in the digestion of proteins in the stomach. So just remember this point, that in stomach digestion of proteins takes place, and while in your mouth digestion of carbohydrates takes place. All right, so what is the function of your hydrochloric acid which is present in the gastric juice? So hydrochloric acid basically kills many harmful bacteria that enter with the food. So it is also no it also makes the medium acidic, which increases the action of digestive enzyme. All right, so next is your mucus. What is the function of mucus? Mucus it protects the inner lining of the stomach from the action of acid, because continuously whenever food enters in your stomach, the walls of stomach starts releasing gastric juice, it starts releasing hydrochloric acid. So with the continuous release of this hydrochloric acid, the walls of this stomach may get damaged. So that is the reason the mucus present in the walls of your stomach, which protects the inner lining. Okay, so next is your pepsin. So what is the function of pepsin? Pepsin, these are enzymes basically. So pepsin digests the proteins in the food into simpler form called as peptones. Okay, so you should just remember this point, that pepsin always work under acidic medium. So until unless hydrochloric acid is present, the pepsin will start its functioning. Okay, after stomach comes your small intestine. After stomach, your food, digested food, partially digested food, it enters your small intestine. Okay, so the small intestine is the longest part of the alimentary canal, and it is about 7.5 meters long, and it is arranged in the form of a coil. All right, so this small intestine receives the secretion from two glands, that is liver and pancreas. Okay, so liver produces bile juice, which is thick yellow liquid, and it passes this liver passes this bile juice to the gallbladder. Here in this picture you can see gallbladder just below the liver. So this secretion is collected, stored by the gallbladder. So gallbladder stores its bile before it is secreted to the small intestine. So what is the function of this bile juice? This bile juice helps to break down fat into easily digestible food particles, food droplets. All right, so these digestive juices then act on these droplets for the further digestion, and at the same time pancreas is also there. So pancreas secrete pancreatic juice, which convert starch into simple sugar. It converts proteins into amino acids and fats into fatty acids and glycerols. Okay, so these are the you can say the further breaking down of starch, proteins and fatty acid with the help of these digestive juices. All right, so next comes after the digestion of protein, starch, carbohydrates and fats, now food needs to be absorbed by the body. So next come your absorption. So what happens in the absorption? After digestion, this digested food, completely digested food, it passes into small intestine. Then these walls of small intestine, as you know, that contains number of folds that provide a large surface area and makes the small intestine suitable for the process of absorption. Okay, so the inner walls of small intestine, they have trillions of finger like projections called as villi. Okay, so I'll show you in this picture. You can see here, you can see these are villi which are present inside the small intestine, and this helps in the further absorption of nutrients from the digested food. Okay, so then the liquid substance then passes into this large intestine, where water and minerals are absorbed. So basically you should know that what happens to food in the large intestine, where does absorption of water and minerals takes place. So it takes place in the large intestine. Okay, absorption of food takes place in the small intestine, and absorption of water and minerals takes place in the large intestine. So a good supply of blood is present in the villi, which helps the transportation of nutrients absorbed from the digested food. Then comes your assimilation. Now what happens in assimilation? As we have already discussed about assimilation. What is assimilation? Assimilation is a process of utilization of food by our body. So how can it be utilized by our body? It can be utilized, it can be transported, digested food can be transported to our body with the help of blood. Okay, so blood carries all these nutrients to the different parts of our body. So the nutrients are then used to provide energy for our growth and development and to repair our body cells and tissues. Okay, so after most of the nutrients have been absorbed in the small intestine, the remaining intestinal content called as waste material called as feces, it passes along the large intestine. Okay, so then in large intestine most of the water is reabsorbed from the feces into the blood, and due to this the feces becomes less bulky. So the last part of our large intestine is called as rectum, which stores the feces, which stores the solid waste of our body for some time. So feces are then passed out from the body through anus as a stool. Okay, so this process, this act of expelling, of releasing the feces from our body is called as egestion or defecation also. Okay, so you have to practice the human digestive system again and again, and at the same time you have to draw this human digestive system on your notebook also. Okay, so it is one of the very important process of a human body.